Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Roxanne.
So, in today's episode, we're breaking down Blake Lively's deposition, the leaked text with her coworkers, the major inconsistencies, including Blake claiming she never told anyone to unfollow Justin Baldoni, while Colleen Hoover says Blake absolutely did. So, we're unpacking everything this entire weekend. I have spent reading the transcriptions, the emails, everything. And I am so distracted from life over this. And every day something else comes out. And it's just been so crazy. Have you been seeing stuff, Chantel?
No, I feel like it's like more of like a TikTok thing maybe, and like I'm not on there, but I do want to know like you reading everything. Has your position still stay the same?
Absolutely. If not, to be honest, based on what I'm reading, I feel stronger about the fact that I feel like Justin Baldoni was kind of played. And there might be things throughout it that you're like, maybe not. But when I read the emails and go over a lot of the things that happen, this doesn't come down to like a sexual harassment case. Like it comes down mostly to power. Like, Chantal, when like, again, we've talked about Justin's position. He's different, right? Like he's like super nice. And we've met people who are super nice. And maybe, our personalities aren't exactly like that. And I think that someone like Blake must have took advantage or just been like, he's kind of weird in her eyes. This is how I think she viewed him. And then they just walked all over him. So,
Well, clearly she thinks of herself as toxic masculinity.
yeah, no, it is intense. She said that, right? Yeah, she
She said
said
that to Taylor in her
yeah.
text.
Those were scary. Those were scary. So a few days ago, Blake's attorney came out and said that Blake is doing this to impact young women who are being harassed at work. Despite, in one of the text message we'll see with Jenny Slate, she ends up Jenny Slate ends up saying something super inappropriate. She's like, no, you could say that. It's just him that can. So it's like in her eyes, if you're a woman, like it's okay to do things that are in your eyes considered sexual harassment. And so she also came out and said that Blake isn't looking to settle. And that's what's the most confusing part to me, because if she's not looking to settle, she's going to go on stand. And it's just confusing because it's like, there's no way she's not seeing this backlash. And I'm almost like, well, is it because there are headlines from, like let's say a Variety and maybe, or New York Times where they, have her back. And so she feels like she's winning. And therefore, if these people are siding with her, then that's all that matters, that maybe celebrities will side with her. Cause it's really not making sense. Cause at this point, I'd be like, this is humiliating. We need to just back down. Why do you think they're not backing down?
I think maybe because like their name already has gotten ruined, the reputation's already out there. Like everyone has been going crazy, so it's like let's see this through. Like why would I back down now? What is that going to do for me? Because like if there is an ounce of her thinking she can win, that can maybe get her reputation to be a little bit better. Like it could like change like people's minds.
I feel like there is some corruptness with it where I feel like a judge, I mean, if it goes to trial, that's completely different. You're going to have a juror, all that stuff. But if it was just a judge, I feel like she would somehow win because clearly in Hollywood, there's a lot of power. So I want to first share what Justin Baldoni's attorney said a few days ago to see how Justin's been since the texts have been released publicly. I think this is super interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like we also haven't heard from him as much either since
Well,
like
yeah, well, I mean, we haven't heard from Blake either. Like, she's not
yeah,
talking. So
I'm sure
listen
they're
to
both
this.
advised by their
Yeah.
attorneys not to say anything.
What if I told you that 2026 is the year you launch your business? Maybe you've got an idea you just can't shake, or that hobby that everyone in your life is telling you to sell. Taking that first step and finally taking action can feel impossible. But with Shopify, all you need to turn your dreams into your new future is at your fingertips. Make 2026 the year you transform into the entrepreneur, founder, and boss you were meant to be. And the one powerful move to make it all happen is starting your business with Shopify. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person, giving you all the tools to easily build your dream store. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to match your brand. And you can set up quickly with Shopify's built-in AI tools that will help you write product descriptions and headlines, as well as edit product photos. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names like Gymshark and Mattel to first-time business owners just getting started. Marketing is built in too. You can create email and social campaigns within Shopify to reach customers wherever they are. And as you grow, Shopify grows with you. The same dashboard that you start with will evolve as your business does to handle more orders and expand to new markets. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side.
From the parents behind Law & Order comes a mystery the whole family can enjoy. Patrick Picklebottom Everyday Mysteries. Step into the whimsical world of Patrick Picklebottom, a precocious 11-year-old with a love for reading and an uncanny ability to solve mysteries. Inspired by the beloved children's book of the same name, this podcast vividly brings Patrick's tales of deduction and everyday adventures to life as he unravels baffling enigmas and solves clever cases. Patrick Picklebottom Everyday Mysteries is perfect for kids and is just as entertaining for grown-ups who love a good mystery. The whole family can listen now, wherever you get your podcasts.
The Regency era. You might know it as the time when Bridgerton takes place, or it's the time when Jane Austen wrote her books. The Regency era was also an explosive time of social change, sex scandals, and maybe the worst king in British history. Vulgar History's new season is all about the Regency era, the balls, the gowns, and all the scandal. Listen to Vulgar History Regency era wherever you get podcasts.
I'm Mandy.
And I'm Melissa, and this is Moms and Mysteries.
We're two Florida moms obsessed with true crime. From infamous cases like Ellen Greenberg to shocking Florida stories like the Dan Markel killing.
With 55 million downloads, we bring you new deep dives every Tuesday and Thursday.
Listen to Moms and Mysteries on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, please, not that music. That music gives me nightmares from my childhood.
Could we get something a little bit lighter, some lighter music here?
Are you a fan of true crime TV shows?
And what about Unsolved Mysteries, the show that jump-started all of our love of true crime?
I'm Ellen Marsh.
And I'm Joey Taranto.
And we host I Think Not, a true crime comedy podcast covering some of the wildest stories from your favorite true crime campy TV shows all the way to Unsolved Mysteries.
Baby, you will laugh, you will cry, you'll think about true crime in a whole new way, and you'll also ask yourself, who gave these people mics?
New episodes of I Think Not are released every Wednesday with bonus episodes out every Thursday on Patreon.
And every Monday, you can listen to our True Crime Rundown, where we go over the top true crime headlines of the week.
So come and join us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
The war is over, and both sides lost. Kingdoms were reduced to cinders, and armies scattered like bones in the dust. Now the survivors claw to what's left of a broken world, praying the darkness chooses someone else tonight. But in the shadow dark, the darkness always wins. This is old school adventuring at its most cruel. Your torch ticks down in real time, and when that flame dies, something else rises to finish the job. This is a brutal rules-light nightmare with a story that emerges organically based on the decisions that the characters make. This is what it felt like to play RPGs in the 80s, and man, it is so good to be back. Join the Glass Cannon podcast as we plunge into the Shadow Dark every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/theglasscannon, with the podcast version dropping the next day. See what everybody's talking about and join us in the dark.
You know, it's difficult when you read about yourself and people that you think that you had a good relationship with, and it comes out that they're saying things behind your back and whatnot. It hurts, and it would hurt anybody, right? And he's just a wonderful guy. He really is a really good human being, and I feel sad about that for him. I think he feels like he wants the truth to come out, but you never feel good when people are being mean and not saying things that are kind. So.
So that's what he said about that. And Chantel, I just think about that and I'm like, the text and the emails talking crap about him and clowning on him happened even before filming happened. So like how embarrassing for him. He obviously has good gut instincts. You could tell that he felt like something was off though, but like how embarrassing for him where he's like, wow, from the very beginning, you did not like me. You didn't want to give me a chance.
Yeah, man. Like, I wonder if like he can go back to the time where they where they, you know, hire Blake to play that role, and like if he could go back in time and like change it, like what would have happened?
I know.
So
Before,
sad.
so what's crazy is that Blake Lively, she's obviously trying to make this case out of Justin Baldoni being this horrible person. On January 26, 2023, Justin offered Blake to direct the sequel, and she had responded, "You're the best." So he was always, again, when someone's too nice and then you just take advantage and you're like, you know what? This guy doesn't even know what he's doing. He's an amateur. And she does call him an amateur in some of the text messages, but he offers it to her. And then she still treats him like complete shit,
And it doesn't matter if it's an amateur. Like he is the one that's a director. He's the one that
Yeah.
got the funding. He's the one that got the rights to the place. Like he did all the work. It does not matter if there's people that are better than him at his job. This is his thing.
Yeah. And
And
Blake,
you're working for him. Like that would just piss me off. It's like you going into a job and like that maybe you think that the manager is not as good as you've had before, but this is a job that you chose now and you have to do it.
exactly. So in an email from July 7th, 2024, this is 1 month before the premiere, Blake Lively emails a Sarah Rule that the studio took the director of the movie and asked her to take over, which obviously proved to be a lie based on all the Sony text messages, emails, none of that is to be true. So she says in this email, "I'm so sorry. I have been under it since April. I was filming one movie when the studio took the film from the director of the movie I was in post on and asked me to take over. So I have been re-editing and doing everything." Absolutely none of that is true. And that's what she was telling people. And then what I want to talk about is Ange Giannotti, and I'm probably saying her last name wrong, but she's not just some random Sony employee. She's the Sony Pictures executive in charge of overseeing It Ends With Us, meaning she was directly involved in managing the film, the talent, and the studio's relationship with Blake and Justin Baldoni. That's why her name, if you read the court filings, it constantly comes up. So according to the documents, Ange is featured in multiple exhibits that were submitted to a New York judge this week as Justin Baldoni filed a motion to have Blake Lively's lawsuit dismissed before trial. The judge, he still has not ruled yet and is still reviewing that motion, but the filings also reveal how heated things got behind the scenes, including private texts from Blake Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, about Ange and another Sony executive. In the message, Ryan referred to the Sony executives as, quote, fucking textbook, ineffectual, elderly people with no ideas or thoughtful communication skills, just blunt instruments with 6 catchphrases and about 5 keywords.
Damn. Like, it's like people, what I have seen, they're all this is like, they really try to intimidate people so much. And even right there, they're trying to intimidate them, like making it seem like I'm smarter, like just by how I'm talking to you.
Yeah. And it's
like using stupid big words, like good for you. Like you have a dictionary. Great. Congrats.
Well, so it's crazy because the Sony leadership, they were privately criticizing Blake. They weren't saying this to her. They weren't even saying it to Justin Baldoni's team or anything. They were doing it amongst each other. Ryan, this is him talking to other people, openly trashing the studio executives. So, and again, what is Ryan's involvement in this and why is he doing that? But it doesn't stop there. So in a deposition taken by Justin's attorney, Brian Friedman, Ange admitted that she had referred to Blake Lively as a terrorist. And that comment is now part of the official court record and is one of the more explosive details to come out of the whole legal battle. So obviously, if like a Sony executive, not to her face, like again, these are text messages amongst them where she's like, dude, this woman is a terrorist. It's obviously like just not a good look. And it's one of those things where it's like, who is the problem? You are the problem. Like how embarrassing that these Sony executives are having so much to say.
Crazy. And it's like, I think he also thinks that they can because of like his other movies with Sony, like that he feels comfortable.
He wasn't saying this to Sony. He was talking shit about them to other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's literally, and that's what I mean when I'm saying he's openly just talking crap about them to other people and trying to disparage their name too, just like how they're doing Justin Baldoni. Another thing that the president of the Sony Pictures Entertainment Motion Picture Group criticized Blake was for launching her hair care, which we did talk about. He called her epic level stupid and that she brought all this to herself. And then Tara Grant, executive VP and chief communications officer for Sony Pictures Entertainment, accused Blake of orchestrating the drama in a totally unsavvy and amateur way, claimed that Blake threatened the studio multiple times.
Which we know that's true.
Yeah. And another thing is that Panage also expressed that despite the movie's box office success, Blake was unhireable right now. And that's not a good look at all. And so Blake's manager went on stand, and I don't have the verbatim, but I did read this. And he went on stand or on his deposition, and they had asked him, they were like, usually when a movie like this does so well, you know, Blake would be getting a bunch of calls, like, and the guy says, like, her manager, he's like, she hasn't been getting any calls. And he admits to that she hasn't been getting any calls. And he's like, you know, like, Blake was a star of this and it was such a massive hit despite like all the drama. But here's the thing. I don't think Blake has done a million movies and it's never really been a hit or anything. It's because it was like a book. And Chantal, you're a book junkie. Like, if you guys are into these books, it doesn't matter who plays a character. Half the time you guys want people who aren't well-known actresses to play them.
Yeah, you're going to watch it no matter what.
Exactly. So, but the manager was like, making it like it was successful because of Blake Lively. But
yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case at all. So yeah, they admit that she's going to be unhireable. Again, never once are they saying this to her. It's just that in you know, with what's happened, all their texts had to be shared. So these are just amongst like all the Sony people, which is crazy. So another layer of the story that people are now, you know, really focusing on is Ryan Reynolds personally emailing Colleen Hoover about Blake Lively. And this is where things start to feel really messy from a workplace and power dynamic standpoint. Did you want to say something?
I was going to say, like, I can't wait to tell my husband to email my boss tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Because on paper, it's not just a supportive husband sending a nice note. Ryan Reynolds is obviously a major industry power player. He's not just Blake's spouse. He's a producer. He's a studio partner, someone with serious influence in Hollywood. That's why
A-list celebrity.
Yeah, that's why his direct involvement raises eyebrows. So if you translate this into a normal workplace, it starts to look really uncomfortable. Because think about it like this. Like, obviously I'm in HR and I've been in it for 13 years. So imagine this scenario. Like, Ryan is essentially a VP level executive in the company. Blake is like a team leader in another department, not at the same level. Now imagine the VP starts emailing other departments and colleagues to hype up his wife, advocate for her, or influence how people treat her at work. In a real corporate setting, that would immediately be seen as inappropriate, unethical, and a conflict of interest. So earlier when we see the attorney, she's like, she's fighting for people in a workplace. It's like, people want to fight against people like you that are in a workplace because that's bullshit and that's not fair.
Yeah.
So, obviously,
you can use, you know, like, it's like using your powers, like where your husband can maybe get you a role because like he was talking to someone and they were like saying things like, oh yeah, like we're doing this movie, and you'd be like, oh, I think my wife is great. But like once she gets that role and you're not involved in it, like you should not be putting your 2 cents into anything unless you're asked.
Yeah. And then like, that's where like the privilege conversation comes in. Cause from the outside, it reads less like protecting the workplace and more like, again, using access and power to get leverage. So whether it was intentional or not, it comes off like it's very intentional. It suggests that. And throughout these texts, you guys, all the time, Chantal, you even see with Taylor Swift, Blake is like constantly mentioning Ryan. She does that on purpose because Ryan's bigger than her and she's clearly not confident on her own. So she constantly mentions his name. So this, like, obviously in the real world, this would be a complete massive problem in almost any professional environment. It would just never work. So yeah, complete BS. Here is an email, by the way, that Ryan sends to Colleen. And they're both very weird, Chantel. Like the way they talk is very scary. But in this email, he deleted it. So I thought that was interesting. Like he deleted it, but of course, when you get subpoenaed to like put all this out, even your deleted comes back. They're able to get that.
Oh my
So
god. Oh my god.
yeah,
Let's never
how
get.
scary.
Let's
Isn't
hope we
that
never get subpoenaed for anything.
literally? Because even if you delete it, they pull them. They have access to them,
Oh my god. Oh my god. I just had a heart attack.
and so, but it's just funny because it will show deleted. So this is Ryan emailing Colleen on August 10th. This is after the premiere. I'm sending you literally every form of congratulations. I see the sky while jumping up and down and rapidly happy clapping. At one point, I was 3 feet away from you at the after party, but I wasn't able to extricate, I don't even know, myself from the Sony studio chairman's mouth. I'm still in here a little shocked. I have service. Holy fuckity fuck. You guys really pulled it off. Like Colleen, this thing is on fire everywhere and audiences have wrapped both arms around the film. You and B made something gorgeous out of ingredients you didn't ask for, which is what makes you both and this whole post-production team so clutch. I heard you guys got a tummy bug and you're stuck in New York. I can't think of anything worse, although it might be your body ridding itself of residual Baldoni. I'd rather be puking in a gulag than hijacking performative feminism while practicing personal growth catchphrases in the mirror. I hope you're taking a moment to enjoy this. I know the road isn't always easy and clear. When you're a creator, an epic storyteller like you, I can imagine it takes a very resolute mind and heart to process all the strange people with muddled intentions trying to warm their hands on your light. He ends up saying, like, he's like, you created this amazing experience. What a complete fucking win this is. I know we breathe rare air. I realize how lucky we are, but I know how genuinely good you and B are. You both trued up this whole project on and off screen. I could literally write you 85 more paragraphs. But mainly, I'm just incredibly proud of you. Now, imagine, okay, he says a million things more. You guys.
And like the way that they both talk, it's like so similar.
They talk where they try to be funny, but they also just think they're the smartest people in the room and want people to think that of them. And it's so awkward. It really, really is. And he wants to make her feel good. Like, oh my God, Ryan Reynolds is emailing me, this A-lister, and shouting me out. Like, he cares so much. And it's like, why is he this involved? Like, why is he talking shit about Justin Baldoni? Like, I don't know. You know, if Justin Baldoni did these things of like sexual harassment, you're not going to be like talking shit about him in this type of way. Like you
100%.
Clearly don't like him. You're going to talk about him some other way. So it just shows you that his involvement in this just made no sense, you know, but they're using their power to also kind of manipulate Colleen. Even though she knows better, they are using it to manipulate her and she gets all excited. Now, this may be all over the place a bit.
This was her first movie, though. Her first movie adaptation.
What a shit show. But still, like, you sold yourself to you sold your soul just so that, you can get attention from A-listers. Like, that's literally what it was. You're not dumb. But so Colleen and Blake weren't always close. But once Blake got Colleen, she got her really good. In some text messages, Blake and Colleen are saying, this is where they're saying that Justin Baldoni is an amateur filmmaker and that they had his name removed from the poster. So this was May 20th, 2024. Again, premiere was in August. And so Blake says his name is in it 3 times plus his picture. He doesn't want just a Lily poster and is insisting on film by as well as directed by. Film by is a controversial credit created by amateur filmmakers when they are the sole vision of the film in every facet. And she sends that over. Again, like at this point, it's like, when you're like kikiing with your friend and they've gotten so close, and usually this doesn't happen, but like they're all looking for a problem with Justin Baldoni. At the end of the day, he got the rights to this. He is a director, and he starred as the main lead. He should be on the film. And I remember Chantal thinking, why isn't the guy on the thing with her? Why is it just her with flowers? Like, it just never made sense at all.
Yeah, they hijacked the whole thing.
Yeah. Let's talk more about the Taylor Swift of it all. I know you had some opinions.
You guys all went crazy on me. Like, damn. Oh my God, did you not read the comments? Everyone's like, we know you're going to be biased, Chantal. Like, okay, biased. Everyone was going crazy. And like, no, like, that's messed up. That's mean girl. And it's just like, how many times are we getting called someone a mean girl? But yeah, I just feel, I don't like that the actual like text, like the way that they talk to each other, but I'm still gonna stand by, like, if anybody was telling me, and like people say, oh, there was a comment, I need to read it too. But if anyone was to tell me, like if Roxanne was to tell me that someone was sexually harassing her or this person is so annoying at work, I'm gonna have Roxanne's back. But then I think someone said, like, let me read it to you. Hold on. But you can start talking and then I'll find it and then I'll read it. Read
Yeah,
it.
my thing with Taylor is that her reps were telling TMZ that she had no awareness of what was happening. And it proved to be wrong. Check out this text that Blake sends to Taylor. So Blake says, I've finally gotten to get in the edit alone. No Justin. I'm going to make this movie great, successful, if it's the last thing I do. They sent me a trailer. I'd love to know what you think. I can change it. I'm just curious your reaction as someone who knows pop culture better than anyone. And also as someone who's read this book. Don't be thrown by your song. They went out on a limb and kept it, which is cheating because it imbues everything with such gravity and quality. I'm torn. Obviously, your feelings decide it, but if you were open to it, on one hand, fuck them forever. On the other, I want this movie to work and your song hits a main artery. Song variable aside, would love to know what you think. Please show Trav too. Would love his opinion also.
What did Taylor say?
She was like receptive towards that. She didn't say anything like crazy or anything.
Okay. But like, it's just like even though for them being such good friends, like even the way that she always has to hype her up in these texts, like, is what's very scary to me. It's like she always is like, you're amazing at this, you're good at this. It's like, just say like, hey, this is my movie. Can you tell me your thoughts? Like, why are you hyping her up at all times? It's very scary.
I would immediately think like, this is not an authentic friendship. Like, I would be like, you're too much. Like, you don't need to do that with me. You're too much. And I don't know though. Taylor is very weird in these text messages as well. So she says some weird shit too that I was like, because like even the text about Taylor saying the violin thing, the fact that she would remember that she said that to Blake, she never thought that these texts were going to come to light. And then she puts that on her song Canceled. And then I actually, Chantal, listened to something.
But that's not that crazy because it's like she like writes, like she probably, like, knowing Taylor the way she is, she probably sent out that text and was like, oh, that was really cool of me and smart of me to that was like a really cool like saying, and she wrote in her notes, was like, I'm gonna bring this up in a song one time.
So Taylor, when she talks about the song Canceled, like she says, the reason that I wrote when I wrote the song Canceled is like, I've been through it. And if you can get through it, you'll be completely fine. So I wrote this in support. Like she was basically saying she wrote it in support, she didn't use Blake's name, of anyone who has gotten canceled and being able to get through it. And that she knows how it feels and she'll be there for them. And I was like, girl. And it's crazy because I really thought that Taylor was not friends with Blake and that, she was kind of mocking Blake for getting canceled. But I mean, it makes sense that she wouldn't actually do that.
So she was writing these songs leading up into like August of when 2024 to December. Okay, she was writing these songs on her European tour. Okay, so they were still friends at this point. And when the New York Times article came out in January of 2025, right? My theory is that she was having her back throughout all of this. She was having her back throughout every single thing that Blake was telling her through the premiere, through all these things. And then when the New York Times article came out, and then Justin Baldoni came out with his side, I think that's when Taylor probably had to take a step back. And I don't think that they're friends. They're as friends, right? Like good friends right now. I think she probably was like, whoa. And that's why Scott Swift came out and said what he said. I don't think they're good friends at all. And I think it's because she had to see what Justin was saying to like open her eyes. But during the filming and all that, and during her recording that song, they were friends.
Yeah. So in May before, what did you want to read the comment about the Taylor Swift?
I can't find it.
Oh, okay.
It was basically someone saying like, even though like, yeah, that's her friend. Like she is like Taylor's an A-list celebrity too, and she has a lot of power, so she should know what she's doing and know what she's saying. Like know what she's saying at all times, basically. Like holding her more to a higher regard. That like, that doesn't give her an excuse. Like me and you being friends is different than her and Blake being friends.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, maybe. I just think like everyone's just so obsessed with like hating Taylor or loving Taylor that they're just making it such a big deal.
Yeah, I think, but I also think
it's like get back to the real issue of like what she just did to Justin.
I think what a lot of people is that when it all came out, Taylor was like, I had no idea Justin Baldoni was going to be somewhere. I was never involved in the edit. I had no idea of what was happening. And all of that turned out to be a lie. I think that's what people are upset about and looking at her like side-eyed and like, wait, we actually believed you. I'm kind of disappointed in you.
Yeah, but I still don't like I think like her being at the apartment is weird still, but I still don't think she had anything to do with them editing. It's like Blake being obsessed with telling her like, oh my God, look at this. Do you like this? Do you like this? It's like she's just asking one of her friends that she knows is like a good writer, like, do you like this?
So what was really interesting too is in another text to Blake from Taylor, she tells Taylor that, Taylor, you dug a movie out of the grave for me before, and she was thanking her.
I can't. Like, she's just too much with her.
Yeah. So in May, before the premiere, that was in August, Justin Baldoni realizes Ryan Reynolds blocks him and his wife. Justin says, morning, guys. And this is to Jennifer Abel. He says, morning, guys. Just as a heads up, Ryan has blocked me, Wayfarer, and Emily. LOL. Probably Jamie too. So not sure if that's something the public can find out. We should have a plan for if she does the same when the movie comes out. I've been really sitting in a good place despite all this, but that one was tough. It's just so petty. Some hits hurt, and then I'm back up and okay. But I just want you guys to have a plan. Plans make me feel more at ease. Do I think she will? Probably not. Is there fear in me? Yes, but I'm working through it daily. Appreciate you both. Keep in mind, she did end up unfollowing and had the whole entire cast unfollow. He has a very
and he had to not go to their damn premiere.
He has a very good, and he did, but it was,
I know,
he has a very good intuition. Like he knows when something is off, and that's why he's saying he wants a plan, because he knew that this is something that they were going to do. For example, when she wanted that, what is that? The PGA mark. I think it's called the PGA mark. Jamie Heath and Justin Baldoni both end up writing another email saying that the only reason we wrote this was because we have been threatened multiple times that the promotion won't happen. This won't continue. We are adults. Obviously we make our own decisions, but like this email is being written on this date and like signed and whatever on this date, so that if anything happens, that the reason that we wrote this was because she was on us. And that's just crazy to me. So Jennifer Abel responds, he blocked you. Is he a 12-year-old girl? This kind of behavior is ridiculous and part of the whole plan to keep chipping away at you, because they know you will notice this kind of stuff, and likely more to her demands. You'll agree to more of her demands. We can put the plan down on paper and work with Jamie and Ashmi to make sure we all have the documentation needed of what happened on set, who witnessed what, and who would be our allies to go on the background if needed to shut down her claims, and then a timeline of everything Wayfarer did to ensure it was a safe set, etc. We will get through this together. And then he's like, yes, thank you. She blocked me and Wayfarer and Emily. And I don't know. I just feel so bad for him. And did you notice how she said they know that this is something you will notice? Because he's like probably like more of like a sensitive guy,
Yeah.
And so like they, and he did notice that right away, but he's also like younger. So,
and I think you're going to be like, especially with everything that's already happened, like you are going to be like more like attuned and aware of anything that's happening.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, just for reference, because I don't think I said this, Jamie Heath, he's a music producer, composer, media executive, and he's the president and former COO of Wayfarer Studios, which was, this for the movie. He's worked closely multiple times with Justin Baldoni. They're great friends on projects like Clouds. And then he creates like faith inspired music, but they are very, very close friends too. And then he was named in a complaint by Blake Lively regarding misconduct on the set of It Ends With Us. So that, just in case anyone forgot that. I was reading the deposition between that girl who played the younger Lily Bloom. This was like her first project ever. And do you want to know what she said? She said that Justin spoke on domestic violence to press, in which this was what the movie was about, to make everyone look bad because they were choosing not to do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But why? Like, it's just so funny how everyone like has to have a different take like that. It's like, why is he doing like affecting you guys?
Yeah. And then I was reading the deposition with Colleen Hoover, and everything Colleen claimed Justin was doing is what Blake actually did. For example, she, in the deposition, explains why she turned on Justin. And she tells them, Blake told me that the religion thing for one, that he told everyone on set that we met through his faith. Blake told me that he would use my name and tell everyone that we were basically best friends. And so when he wasn't getting his way in a scene, that he would say, well, the author wants it this way. You guys, there's not one proof of Justin throwing Colleen's name under the bus or saying Colleen wants it that way.
But
do
okay,
you know
even,
how
but
much-
even let's say he did, you guys, like that's literally classic move that I do all the time. Like I will go and say something to people, and then they'll question. I'm like, well, the owners want it this way. Like, go ahead, call the owner then if you're
Well,
gonna
but
question
Chantel,
me.
but that's what Blake does. So in all the text messages where Blake is fighting people, she's like, I don't care. Like when her cut performed a lot lower, she said, I don't care. Colleen said, run with it. She doesn't care. We're gonna go with the one that is looked at lower. So Blake does it, and there's proof of Blake doing it. While in any of these texts, any of these emails, anything to the studio, to the execs, to anybody, Justin never once throws Colleen's name under the bus like that.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it's like
crazy to be hypocrites about it, I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I can, that's like a classic move. Of course, like if you don't want people to like question you sometimes, you're just like, okay, like this is what they said, get over it. But it's just crazy to be a hypocrite.
Another thing was that they were mad that during the press, like obviously Justin got a lot of love because when he answered questions, like he was speaking out about the domestic violence, and in text messages, he was livid because like Blake's side of things, he's like, she took out all the domestic violence. She took out so much stuff. But he was speaking on it. And the cast also was livid that Justin didn't make a statement to defend them about not speaking on it. And it's like, why does this man owe you a damn thing? Like you've been doing whatever you want, because they're trying to make it like, oh, Sony came and said, like, make it a positive thing during press. And they're saying Justin Baldoni didn't follow that. You have not followed one rule. So all of a sudden you followed a rule to just like talk about florals in your hair care?
Yeah, I just find it so crazy that like even down to like talking about in the press, like had to be like everyone had to be on the same page or something. Like people can have different opinions on what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Or where they got out of it. And everyone has a different role too. So like
I mean, Chantel, the way they answered all the questions, they didn't even discuss domestic violence. They were laughing the whole time. This was a very serious movie, and a lot of women go through that. No one on the cast but Justin talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, and I think the reason for Justin, it's like it's hard for him is because the reason he wanted to do this movie so much is because like he loved the storyline of like that, like he wanted to showcase that so much. So it's like, and then for all that to get taken away, I think it's like what was really hard.
Yeah. What really stands out is the Blake Lively, Brandon text. Brandon plays young Atlas. Brandon also was in Handmaid's Tale. And Brandon's been in a lot of stuff. Is it called Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
I'm saying it wrong or something like that.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. And Brandon's been in a lot of movie roles. He's been acting for a while. He's never had a breakout. This was kind of his breakout, and he was loving Blake. They also say that the reason that he got the role for Handmaids, which this is alleged, was through Ryan. So I don't know. But so there's like text messages between Blake and Brandon, and it's so embarrassing because they all fall under her trap. Okay. So, obviously like, and it's like kind of, I don't know, Chantal, if you would do this. I don't think we would do this. We have like integrity, but on his, to him, he's probably just looking at these people like, I would rather stick with them than this amateur director. And that's kind of what he did, what he did.
But again, that's like that's like the theme. It's like they use their power.
Yeah. She brings up Justin over and over in the text. She complains that he removed things from her cut. She calls him batshit crazy to Brandon, saying he wasn't authorized to look at her cut, even though he's literally the director. And then she frames it to him like he's overstepping or being inappropriate creatively. So like when I think of like sexual harassment, I literally think this is like what she thinks is like that's being inappropriate.
And like if there it has out of all these things that you are reading, has there been a time where she literally says like, I feel uncomfortable because he just did this to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say? I'm sorry.
Oh,
No.
I said out of all of her text messages, because like has there been a very evident like text message saying, I feel comfortable that Justin just did this to me?
No, it's nothing like that. It's more just like flowering on him. Well.
Yeah, so then it's just like so crazy that like then she's getting to use this as as her suit.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, the director absolutely has authority over cuts. Okay, so
yeah, no matter what, it's the director cut. Yes. It's the director's cut.
Yeah, so like her presenting it as if like Justin did something improper plants a narrative that he crossed the line when that's literally part of his job. Okay, so
I think wasn't it the same year that this came out? Like it was at one of the award ceremonies last year. A director, the guy who won Best Director, he came out and literally says something like, almost like a director gets their cut no matter what. Like he kind of said,
I
it was
remember
like,
that.
it was like something so crazy because like he was just like, making sure that everyone knew that like a director, no matter what, gets the final say.
Well, I wish that more directors spoke out in support of Justin. Like no one really has, and it's so messed up. I'm shocked by it, but no one has, and it goes to show you that these people really do have so much power.
Yeah, you're not gonna get involved when you don't need to be.
So here's like a text message with Blake. She says, Justin, okay, this was May 24, 2024. She says, Justin is emailing today saying he took some things for my cut, so I felt acknowledged and can move forward. And he's locking his cut before the bake-off. Brandon says, wow. And then Blake says he's batshit. He wasn't authorized to watch my cut yet, but went into the Avid to watch it and then take things from it. Brandon says, well, it'll still be yours in the end. And it won't be, and she says, it won't be Frankenstein cut. It will be his or mine in the entirety. And then Brandon said, thank God it'll be yours. Can't believe he did that. I mean, I can. He's definitely scrambling. Also, totally fucking himself for any future work. And she says, oh, you don't know the first of it. She's like, yeah, the crazy thing is I would have continued to let him take credit for everything. He would have been handed a career. He would have been fucked on his next job, but he at least would have been a big success and still hit. But the word is out and I've been protecting it from getting out because all I want to do is focus on the work and not be pulled into the fucking mess they make. But they wreak havoc everywhere they go and everyone sees it. Then they come to me. And then she said,
oh my God, doesn't she have 5 kids? Like, how did she have time for all of this? You guys, like, she was so obsessed.
You guys, she had just had a baby too.
I can't even imagine like thinking of anything extra just to have time to do that. Like, okay, like you're already working on a film. Like you're sitting there texting all these people about him.
I know. She says, she says, he said something hushed to you on set at Root, but I didn't hear the rest. He said, oh man, I have something, but I'll probably get canceled for saying it. You can't say anything on this set anymore. Do you remember that? Brandon's like, I do vaguely remember that. I don't even remember if he told me. And Blake was like, he was always trying to rope everything into this messiness. And then Brandon says, I'm just so baffled by his lack of foresight, especially given his TED Talks and podcasts and books. And Blake says, I mean, they all make perfect sense. He's running from something gnarly and hiding in all of that. Brandon's like, it does make perfect sense. Some Tom Ridley shit. Dude, are you guys like serious? Like this is starting to get scary just reading these. It's not coming across as this man made me so uncomfortable. Like it's coming
like
across
it's okay if you don't
like him.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't like him, it's okay. Like that's all that it was. Like you guys did not see eye to eye. You did try to use your power to like get this movie and like just admit that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy. So on our last episode, when we talked about the Justin Baldoni stuff and Blake Lively reached out to Ben Affleck, which by the way, he never even responded to her email. And it was the most awkward email, just like saying, you know, like, can you, I'm doing my cut, like, and he's doing his cut. Again, this is not normal, but she demanded that she gets a cut. And then she thought that her cut was going to rate higher, so she would get it, but that's not what happened. She did get it, but her cut rated significantly lower. But anyways, so she is like going to these like A-listers. She went to Ben Affleck. She went to Matt Damon. She went to Matt Damon's wife. And in it, Ryan Reynolds and Matt, they're all talking mad shit about Justin Baldoni. Not Matt and his wife are responding to it, but they're getting in front of it basically. She also emails Ann Wintour. What's that?
Oh my God, stop it.
Yeah, she emailed her.
Kraft Mac and Cheese is better than 90s hip hop. We'll remind you of your childhood without making you feel incredibly old. Kraft Mac and Cheese, best thing ever.
The world of Sonic the Hedgehog has been thrust into a not-so-dark, not-so-stormy hard-boiled detective story that probably nobody saw coming. Follow Sonic and the intrepid Chaotix Detective Agency as they take on their biggest case yet. This high-flying, action-packed adventure will take them across the world, fighting for every clue they can find. It's one heck of a tale, which is good, because this story might be the only thing that can save their lives.
Well, if that's all, I can just dispose of you.
Wait, what?
All will be revealed in Sonic the Hedgehog presents The Chaotix Case Files. Coming soon to wherever you get your podcasts.
When the Chaotix are on the case.
From the darkest corners of our imagination comes a game show that's more ridiculous than terrifying. Welcome to Tickled to Death. I'm your host, Roz Hernandez, and I'll be guiding guests through the creepy questions and chaotic games, all to win the ultimate title of Horror Movie Champion. Listen to Tickled to Death wherever you get your podcasts, and hit follow unless you want the show to follow you.
Hi, I'm Brandy Basanti. For the last 15 years, I've starred on one of the most successful reality shows of all time, Storage Wars. On my new show, The Real Reality, my guest and I will reveal the real story of what it's like navigating fame and notoriety. We will explore their unique story, what really happened on and off camera, how becoming famous has truly impacted their lives, and what their vision is for their future. This is The Real Reality. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
There are names that echo in the world of true crime. Names that carry unanswered questions. Oakley Carlson, a 5-year-old girl who deserved safety, protection, and love. Yet the system built to protect her failed, and Oakley disappeared. Her community still calls her name.
Or Ellen Greenberg, found in her locked apartment with 20 stab wounds. A case declared a suicide. But how does a locked apartment tell two different stories at once?
These are not just cases we have covered. They are people. They were loved, and they mattered.
Their stories deserve to be told with care, with depth, with truth.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Ricky.
We are the husband and wife duo behind Crime Salad.
Every week we uncover stories of the missing, the silence, the misunderstood. We ask the questions that were left behind. We refuse to let these stories be forgotten.
Because behind every case is a family holding on, a community seeking answers, and a story that deserves to be heard.
We invite you to listen to Crime Salad,
your healthy portion of true crime, wherever you get your podcasts.
Goodbye, Kyle!
Did the sound of those words call to you like Pavlov's dog? Then you might enjoy our podcast, Turtle Time.
Every week, you can join me, Riley Hamilton, and my co-host, Amy Scarlatta, as we cover the most pressing Bravo news and dig into the new episodes to answer important questions like, who the hell is Adrian Malouf in this world?
Listen to Turtle Time on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Wednesday and Friday.
And she said, she was like to her, if you have time, please, read this cut. And she also says how she had this terrible experience. And then Anna responds, Blake, that was a very brave and moving film. And the rooftop scene is brilliant. Knowing how hard a situation it was for you made me especially proud of you. All my love. And the gold dress is stunning. And she's literally saying that this was so hard for you. Because Blake was this was so hard because of the director. So she's trying to get this man blacklisted to anyone who will listen, which is crazy. Now, Jenny Slate, who played Justin's sister on the set, completely turned on him as well. Here are texts with Jenny and Blake where Blake is coaching Jenny on how to make complaints against Justin to HR. At this point, she hasn't made any complaints, okay? So Jenny says, hey, I hope you're feeling better and that little baby's also doing okay. My manager spoke to Ange and went through the general points of the unprofessional behavior and the feeling that I had that it's affecting the work. She said Ange wants to speak with me too, which I'm happy to do. I did end up telling my manager the whole deal, all the weird shit that Justin and Jamie have pulled. But now I'm hoping that it wasn't an overstep, and I actually don't know how deep she went into those details. I'm going to speak with Alex tomorrow, and I'm going to tell her about my own discomfort and feelings of being pretty unsettled and certainly distracted from my own work. That said, if you don't want me to, I don't need to. I don't want to make anything harder on you. And if you're ever just wanting to take a moment to see how it feels when we're back on set, I get that. And Jenny says, sorry for the literal novel. The last text was very long. Blake says, all good. I think it's great you spoke to Ange because I haven't spoken to Justin or Jamie or Alex about the inappropriate behavior yet. You can just speak to what you've witnessed and experienced. I told Ange, but I asked her not to mention so that I could personally tackle since I've tried to salvage some degree of chemistry and camaraderie with Justin, who's not only my director, but love interest. And we're not even halfway through, 1/3 of the way done. And then Jenny says, okay, totally get it. I'll keep it with me. My concerns about needing leadership, the remark about my wardrobe, but I'll just keep it with me. It's more to let her know that I'm uneasy and that I don't want it to get worse and how freaked out the recording stitch made me feel. And then Blake says, but whatever you feel or seen 100%, please feel free to say something. I just think there needs to be some leadership. I mean, even him recording our conversation on his phone without asking us first, it's alarming behavior. Leadership, big time. You were standing there for the thing he said to me when he said, I look hot. I said, that's not what I'm going for. And he said, okay, sexy. And then made a joke once he asked if he crossed the line. And I said, yes, that he must have missed the sexual harassment meeting. And then later when you said you used to stare at Britney Spears midsection for hours before you finished and said what an athlete she was and how remarkable she seemed as a young girl, he jumped in and said same and giggled, but then I rolled when we just looked at him. She's like, it's just all too fast and loose. What do you think about?
Oh my God. You know what's it's funny, it's like when because the one thing about Blake and her husband, they're the most sarcastic people in the world. So like even
Yes.
the whole comment of like, oh, like he said like, oh, she's hot, or then it turned into like, okay, sexy, whatever. That was like him being sarcastic.
Yeah. And just so you know, that's how Ryan Reynolds speaks to like everyone, his co-stars, all of them. So that's why this has all been very shocking, because prior to this, I remember like, I'm sure Chantal, like, she doesn't care much about celebrities, but I always was like, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds seem like clowns. Like they seem funny. They can make jokes. They're not like uber woke. Like they are cool. Like they poke at each other. The fact that this is who they really are is crazy. And keep in mind, so, you know, she's calling Justin Baldoni inappropriate for agreeing with Jenny Slate about Britney Spears. Meanwhile, Ryan had their 7-year-old daughter deliver a graphic sexual joke in Deadpool. So just so you know, if you hadn't listened to our episodes before on this, Reynolds faced criticism for having his young daughter, Inez, then roughly 7 years old, deliver a vulgar line in Deadpool and Wolverine. The line reportedly told Deadpool, hey, when I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth. Reynolds admitted in a commentary track, guilty, that is my daughter, Inez. I am father of the year over here for her allowing her to say such language, which to her credit, she really didn't want to say.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like these people are the last people that would ever get like sensitive about any of the things that they said in those text messages. And like the recording stuff too, it's like, well, in what context was he recording you guys, and how did you guys even know then if he didn't make it apparent?
He made it apparent, because I'm telling you, throughout all of this, I'm like, dude, his gut is so strong. He feels something off. He feels like everyone's like talking about him behind his back. So he's recording things to protect him. And thank God he did, because I don't know if you remember, Chantal, when they did their slow dance, like she made it like he was so inappropriate. And then and she thought the mic was off. And then when we saw it, she was the one being inappropriate. She was the one who's like, get closer. She was the one who was like, she's like, did you ever think about getting a nose job? Like, what?
Yep.
So it's crazy. So in revealed messages, Jenny Slate later admits that she made sexually inappropriate jokes on set, and she apologizes to Blake Lively because they're all fucking scared. She says, I truly am so sorry that I made that remark about our tiny bedroom and our shitty Airbnb. I think back on it now, referencing that it was bad for sex and just realizing that it was way inappropriate to say. And I hope that you know that I know it wasn't the setting for that kind of remark. And also knowing that you guys sleep as a family, it must have just seemed like such a bummer judge. So Chantal, like she sleeps with all 4 of her kids in her bed. She's like, I'm so sorry. I definitely have no judgment on it, but I'm sure it seemed that way. You know, our beds, it's just what works for me. Not at all trying to say it's what we should all be doing. Wish I have not said that. And as you say, we move on, but I do want you to know that I remember it. I regret it. I'm sorry if I made you upset. Blake's like, oh my gosh, no worries at all. I mean, at all. You do not need to revisit anything that's been said. That is so generous of you to say this, but so not necessary. Please don't stress about any of it. The truth is dynamics are different with women and men, and there is safety with women that there isn't with men. Also, they had screwed you on your living situation and you had to ask for something better. So casually making a joke about sex was likely a subconscious way of playing to your audience. If the guy who could authorize moving could empathize that you and your family would have been out there, it all tracks. Also, in the moment, it actually wasn't on you that was strange. What was strange was Justin Baldoni. You didn't know we all sleep in bed together. He did. And when you said that, he said, oh yeah, terrible for sex. It was so odd that he said that instead of just laughing like I did. He's always trying to be liked. And so joining makes sense for him. But it was still something I clocked on his part, because I know we all sleep in the same bed, obviously. And he knows. I almost made a joke about what you do instead as a workaround, but I thought, no, that's not only appropriate, but not relevant. And he's the only one who would even know what I'm saying. And he doesn't deserve my casual defensiveness. And then she says, Bletch, I've been shaking my head about it all morning. I guess I was just trying to make like some sort of joke at my own expense. But yes, I think you're right. That subliminally, it was a message. There's no way to get an Airbnb, these neighborhoods, for the amount of money that they told me. But when you shared that you guys do a family bed, my heart just sank. It's a huge lesson learned on my part. And thank you for being so forgiving and understanding. And Justin is so weird for jumping on that joke. If he knew anything about your family dynamic, he's so volatile and desperate.
Oh my God. And like what that joke was like is a joke that anyone would make.
You guys,
Like
I
anybody
can't
would
do
say
it.
like, oh my God, like if you go like on Instagram and you see anything like, cause like my whole feed is about co-sleeping, everyone's like bad for your marriage, bad for sex. Like what's the problem of that comment?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Wow,
Now,
they really made a mountain out of a molehill, huh?
you guys, so there's like more texts where Jenny tells
They
her
just
like,
didn't like him. Like that's really what it
yes,
comes
that's
down to.
all it
It's like
is.
they thought he was creepy. Like sure, like maybe some of the comments he made was just like annoying and it's like creepy and like I don't even think it's that creepy, but like maybe like one after another one, you're just like okay, Justin. But it's like wow, like just move on, do your job and leave.
Yeah. Jenny says, I sat down with Alex and I was very open about all the stuff. Jamie's initial comments, Justin's recording, his later comment, and his fussy attitude. My feeling that the work is really suffering, and that as an actual feminist, I'm concerned and offended by the way he's so far off the mark. I told her that I really just wanted her to be aware and things that need to be way more professional. And Blake like starts like coaching her on things and telling her, like, she says, I think you need to say it all. It's a culmination. The difference is if someone said something to one of us, if we made them uncomfortable, neither of us would behave the way he does. That's what's odd. He keeps referencing it or disconnects entirely or gets snippy and impatient as a director. He was so huffy after the sexy thing. I felt awful for saying something. It's that on top of Jamie being a total goof with no boundaries or respect for the work, he treats set like a barbecue. What you said though is very self-aware. Neither of us are people who can't take a joke or who can't work or understand blue. We're not that fragile. Are you sure you're not that fragile? Are you sure?
You're very fragile and you're very sensitive.
Yeah. So
and again, I'm so baffled about like the obsession.
I know, it's really crazy. Here's a text between Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath. Okay. So this is like crazy. April 27, 2024. Justin says, they took out, trailer came in. She didn't do my notes. They took out the first kiss bit, went with the other one, not as good. Used the wrong shot for date montage. I asked for the dancing that is in the date montage with Flair. It's in the movie where we are about to kiss. They didn't add the abuse moment. They kept the running in and accommodated Blake. They took out Riley listening to her, asking what he would do if he had a daughter. That is very frustrating. And then Jamie's like, you want to call me? Jamie's smart. He's like, you want to call me? And then he's like, I'm in bed. Literally nothing I asked for was done. There's no fucking story, no abuse. She took out Riley's dialogue, more shots of her that don't move the story forward. It's not Blake. Or he says, it's not a Blake Lively sizzle reel. It's a movie. And there was like more stuff that he ends up saying where he's like, I just left therapy, and he's like, it's like he just felt like such like a reject and thing after. And he's like, I just can't believe it. Like, all the stuff that's happening. And it was just really, really fucking sad.
And you guys, this is like still they're still filming during all this. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. That's what's the most awkward part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is like
they're shocked with all of this. It's like all of the text messages going on. It's like they're straight up filming.
I know, it was so sad. I'm like trying to see if I can get the other thing. He's like, okay, so here's Justin where he's like finally starting to push back. He's like, I'm starting to get angrier. I'm not going to email back, as I will say I'm now frustrated, and then that will spiral. But I've spent 4 years in this movie. I chose Sony. We are the lead financiers. This has to end. And then Jamie says, dude, let's talk tomorrow. We can talk to her together. He's like, Justin then says, then email her and let her know we can talk tomorrow, but it isn't approved. He goes, it's not about that. This is Blake, not Sony. And Justin's like, then Sony needs to fucking stand up to Blake. Josh needs to grow some balls. I'm going to be petty. I work too hard. She's not taking me out of the trailer. She basically took him out of the trailer.
Oh my God. She's a freaking nut, you guys. Like, what's crazy is like, I hope they made their money back and they made money from this.
They did.
Okay.
I mean, but did they, because of all the lawyers and everything they're doing?
I know, but I'm just saying, like, damn, like for Heath, like all of them, and just like crazy that like all those dramas, like they like thank God that they actually made some money then.
Yeah. And look at Jamie. Jamie says, I'm just going to say this and then go to bed. You were not able to control Blake. I was not able to control Blake. Alex has not been able to control Blake. and cannot control Blake. Todd is not able to control Blake. Her lawyer doesn't control Blake. Her manager doesn't control her. Her agent doesn't control her. Nobody can control what you cannot control. We always say that, by the way.
Yeah.
We stop pointing fingers at everybody else who cannot control the very person that we are and no one else can control. We are all in bed with a fucking monster, and we're all trying to deal with the monster. This is not because they don't have balls. If that's the case, you didn't have balls. If that's the case, I didn't have balls. It's not as simple as having balls. We're dealing with a monster, and everyone's trying to navigate it. And then Justin's like, one look and a phone throw is going to have backlash, and every shot of Riley has been shortened. You verbatim told me to grow balls. Justin, you said grow some fucking balls, stand up straight, just saying, LOL. He's like, I was talking about how you walk through the world that you can control, but her, you can't control. And he's like, I know. And now I'm just saying, say it to Josh. I know. And he's like, Josh is a man like you, just a man like me. And they are not the financiers. They are not the production company. In fact, they have less power than us. Why do we expect them to be able to control her any more than we can? And then Justin's like, I will not let this happen anymore. She will not change my vision for the film. And at this point, you guys, like, he's been so receptive and done everything that she's wanted. And Jamie says, I completely disagree with that sentiment. We are in a business that's all about compromise, negotiating, betting, trying to work out many partners, many people. There's always then more than one person. And we are dealing with a monster again, everybody, all of us. And it seems that we always want to point the finger at one person as they are the problem. Name me one person that has been able to control her. Even one, if you can name that person, I'll be shocked. It's just the truth. Justin says, if she doesn't approve, we tell her it's going to hurt the film as we won't have a trailer. Then Josh gets involved, and little by little, we start taking away her options. A narcissist's worst fear is being disliked and everyone thinking what they know is true about themselves. We call agents and managers, tell them she's sabotaging herself and ruining her reputation. People are talking. And then Todd steps in. He's like, Josh has been involved trying to get to Ben, trying to get her to Ben, trying to get her to approve a release date, trying to get her to approve to promote a film, trying to get her on board. Everybody is trying. You've got an amazing, intelligent, brilliant brains, and all of us are trying. And then he's like, you haven't talked to Josh. Ann doesn't let you. He ducks up twice in a week, or he fucked up twice in a week with the trailer and with the edit room. You should have a direct line to him as the CEO and partners. And then Jamie says, okay, I'm done. I'm going to bed now. You should go to bed because I'm starting to get angry now and I haven't lost my cool one fucking time or lost my way. And I feel like I'm about to, and I feel like I'm going to throw my hands up in the air. And I don't want to start saying shit that I have to take back. Let's talk later. He says, okay. And then later on, he's like, call me, please. And Justin says, just got out of therapy. Fuck, man. Purging shit out and is so exhausted. So much fear of Blake coming out and going public about how I'm a bad person and unsafe and not who I say I am. So much self-hatred for the little boy who kept messing up friendships by saying the wrong thing. And my best friend's mom who said I was a bad influence and took him away from me. Like, if I'm not liked and a good influence, I have nothing to offer this world. I'm so intertwined with this little boy no one liked, and I got to figure out how to separate from him. He's been running the show when he feels scared and threatened, and that's who you get so frustrated with. I'm sorry it makes your life harder. I'm doing my best to give him what he needs, but this has been overwhelmingly triggering all my biggest fears. And he's like, approve the trailer, go back to the other line, please. The version before that I didn't like. This feels too intense. When they mix it, they may be able to use audio from this one and the visual from the other one, but only if it matches. This one is too intense, so go back to the original. And then he responds and he's like, yep, she's on it. She's also just behind the 8 ball. She repeatedly has said, I hope that Justin's happy. I hope he knows that I'm doing my best to hold his line. And I'm so sorry for what he's going through. And hopefully understands that I also have to do my job and balance it all. I assured her. And he's like, I think they're talking about like the executives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he's like, and the trailer, he's like, he like Justin says something about like a trailer isn't approved, so they can miss their date if they won't stand up to her. And then Jamie says, okay, well, we'll have to figure it out tomorrow, because if we don't figure it out tomorrow, there will be no trailer to go out, and there will be no movie, there will be no trailer to be approved of. And so unfortunately, we either have to find a way or we walk away, and the second option is not an option. And then Justin's like, then we threaten to walk away and tell Sony to say, no, this is the trailer. We must start setting a precedent. We've been bent over backwards so long. Our heads are up our asses. He's like, how do they stand up to her? Put in a way that I can understand how they stand up to her any more than anybody can stand up to her, Justin. They are in the same position that we have always been in, dealing with a monster that cannot force her to do anything. We only can all entice her, manipulate her in a way that we can try to trick her. They have no power over her anymore. And he just responds.
Yeah, it seemed like Heath like knew, like can see it from a mile away, where Justin was still very like in it. Yeah, emotional. Or like where Heath is like, this is a business, like there's nothing we can do about it at this point. Like let's just get it done. And like Justin just could not see that because like he just was pissed. Like, and I don't blame him.
Well, yeah, like I feel like with Justin, he is like very emotional. You know, when you get into that thing where you're like, but that's not fair. And it's like, well, life's not fair. What can we do? We can't really do anything. Yeah, I don't know. So that was like the one time that we saw him get very like, you know, emotional and say, fuck this. Like we need to have balls, you know? Now let's talk about once they both get their cuts and they put their cuts out. Okay. So like this is Justin's cut and then Blake's cut. So Josh
and they're sending this to Sony and like those people, right? Like they're the ones that
seeing this is Sony sending it to them after Sony gets the cut.
Okay.
Then they do their thing with it. So now Josh Greenstein says, from my head of research, the biggest difference compared to the last screening are the relationship between Lily and Riley is down 6 points to 38%, the lowest rating of all the elements. This is on Blake Lively's cut. He's like, the relationship between young Lily and young Atlas is down 6 points. The drama is rated 27 points lower than Justin Baldoni's cut. We need to read the cards to see why. The romance is rated 18 points lower than Justin Baldoni's cut. The beginning is moving too fast by +5 points. The ending is moving too fast by +7 points. Confusion is up to +3 points. Well, we have to read the cards to see what these younger females are saying about the beginning and ending as well as to what's confusing. Blake responds to this and she says, I spoke with Colleen. She feels like I do. She's still full steam ahead with my cut. I asked her to text you as well, so you're not taking my word for it. Also, I think it's important for them and everyone to know I'm not going to kill myself anymore for this to be in a state of limbo. So this isn't a punt of decision until the next test with the next round of scores. Colleen and I are declaring now this is the cut. We will work to improve this cut, but Colleen said tonight, I would much rather have your cut exactly as it is released than his cut, even with the lower numbers. I don't like his cuts. And you know how I feel about this. I believe this is a far better, more elevated and most evergreen version of the film, and quality to me always wins. His movie is very Lifetime, which is why I'm sure it's resonating with younger people. That makes sense to me. I try to wash all the sweaty off the movie because to Colleen's point, this isn't a book.
What the F does that mean?
I don't know.
I am so confused. Like, how can you be so like not conceited, like narcissistic that like literally on paper people are telling you that your cut got lower and you're still saying we're using this? Because that's how pissed you were, and like it did not matter. It did not matter like what they were gonna say. It's because you wanted to prove to like anyone and everyone else that you're gonna get what you want.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now, here's something that is also interesting that I want to share, and it's more context from Colleen's text about Justin Baldoni's Instagram post. And it's Jamie Heath, and he said, made 2 quick changes. I'm deeply sorry to hear this. I want you to know with all sincerity that my team hasn't contributed to any negative articles. We would never go out of our way to harm you or anyone who's part of this film, which I hope is evident from every time I've spoken publicly. I've always valued your collaboration, your trust, and your friendship, and that hasn't changed. I know a lot's happened since we first worked on the script together, and it pains me to hear that this is how you feel. If you might recall, we sent you the script before the fan reading in July 2022, and you responded positively, acknowledging how pleased you were that it stayed true to the book. You shared some great notes with me, which was crucial to the development. You even got to read it before I did. I'm happy to share those screenshots of our texts and emails, as I want to make sure to clear up however I can. Regarding the documentary, I want you to know that while Jamie may have tried to ease some of your concerns regarding being on camera, he and Wayfarer always respected how you felt about this, which is why we never moved forward. It was only an idea meant to bring fans closer to a story that means so much to me. Once you shared your feelings, he completely understood and he immediately killed the idea. I thought this was from Jamie.
So like they were going to try to do a documentary like based on like the film, like how they were like going to do like a 2-part or something like with that.
I have no idea what that means. Yeah. Regarding the coffee book donation, legally Wayfarer couldn't donate the 1% on your behalf as you graciously offered. It wasn't a demand from us, but a legal requirement we were asked to relay. As a tattoo, I'm so glad you pointed out the importance of it to the fans and the DV community. While we were in the edit, we were more than happy to change it in the post, and the film is better for it. I completely own that I vented to you about what I was going through during production and expressed several frustrations. Because of our friendship, it had grown over our work together in the past several years. I felt a safe space to do so, but I fully understand that it may have been a burden too heavy to carry, and for that, I'm sorry. Please know that my door is always open to you. I truly hope we can talk and rebuild our friendship. This isn't about image for me. I took this on because of your trust in me to tell the story, and I truly want this communication to be the first step in healing to us both. This was Justin to Colleen, actually.
Yeah.
And then like Jamie was like, Justin was showing Jamie and saying, is this okay to send to Colleen? And just so you know, like what Justin in the beginning, he asked Colleen, do you want to be a part of the script? Do you want to write the script with me? She said no. She said in her deposition that she just couldn't. She doesn't remember why. Like there was something that happened that she couldn't, and she didn't want to be involved in that aspect. But they like sent her everything. And she said that one time they went to dinner, they said that Jamie and Justin mentioned that there is a little bit of issues on set where Blake is creating some obstacles. And Colleen said that she felt like they did that and told her that so that she could go against Blake. But it's like, that's what Blake has been doing to Justin with everybody.
Yeah. Like, why can't they say their side to you?
Yeah.
Or why did you even take a side? You should have been neutral.
Right. You should have been like,
yeah.
to both of them. Yeah. Just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I don't want to, and even to Blake, like, I'm so sorry. Justin's been amazing. That's why I chose it. That's why I was so excited about him doing this. Like, you know, why didn't a woman direct this? Like, why didn't you have a woman direct this if you're like all about that, you know? So what else? Like, we are almost finished, you guys. I know this is quite a bit. Let me see if there's anything else. I know there's the stuff. There was like some script changings, and she's like emailing like the breakdown to people about the script changes and stuff and what she wants change. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, okay. So here's like just like a little bit a part of the deposition with Colleen. And they say to her, well, you said that he said that he was worried that she was going to claim sexual harassment, right? And then she's like, well, when he was speaking about the incident, I don't remember the exact words, but I remember them just concerned that the incident was going to turn into some sort of claim to be released publicly. They were worried about this document. Oh, because do you remember when they were on that strike and they came back and Blake was like, after being away, I was uncomfortable with certain things. I want you guys to sign this. And it was like this like document where they were like, what the hell is all of this stuff? And it was just like these crazy accusations. And she's like, to protect the workspace is like what she was trying to say. And they were, so I guess the first time they ever talked to Colleen was saying like, this happened and we're just like basically worried that it's going to come out there. So that's what they told her. So
yeah. And then just to like, because like, again, so like this in May is like going to go in front of a judge at first to see if they can settle.
No, they're not settling. The trial will happen in May.
Oh my God. So with real juries and real jurors?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
In New York, right? Like I do know that part. It's like going to be in New York, right? That's like where the lawsuit's taking place in?
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's like, it's in New York.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. And so, and then also like in some of the text messages, like Blake even brings up like his wife, Emily, and she's like, he has no idea what's getting ready to hit him about Justin. And she's like, I bet the wife is dealing with a totally different person than he professes to be on Instagram. Methinks you have a bit of a narcissist on your hands, but I think you've got it covered. Again, please gloat when it happens, and like puts like a devil face. And she's like, and Blake was like, do you know how happy that would have made me if you were in the room? The man is terrified of women. His wife, my God, I keep imagining that I'm going to have to ask her to blink twice if she needs to be extracted. I will gloat. Thank you for reminding me that we have permission to do so. I'll share any good ones with you. And yes, you called it. Narcissist beyond. I'm not a unicorn, as has so often been said. Dear God, they're just like making fun of like how he is as a person.
Yeah, like to even say like he's so afraid of, like, I don't, everything about it is just so weird. It's like she knew that she could take advantage, and that's all that it was.
Yeah. Now, here's one other thing is one of like Justin Baldoni's friend was like, saying like, who the hell does Blake Lively think she is? Has this happened before? Can this be the first time? What has the studio done in the past when an actor pulled some shit like this? There has to be some consequence for this.
Literally.
Yeah.
Seriously, preach.
Yeah. And then this guy, and then Justin responds, she had the nuclear bomb. If she doesn't promote the movie, she can leak that I'm a bad person or that she felt unsafe with me and all the stuff she has on me. Then he put quote, like all the stuff. Then she's the victim. It's the Taylor Swift playbook. So she can ask for whatever she wants because she knows I know. And then who did Taylor Swift do this to? And what happened if she leaks all this stuff? Is this something you're willing to stand up in order to make this your movie or swallow your pride with again and again? And he's like, isn't there a power in you having all the stuff on her and Ryan as well? And then they put quote all the stuff. And he's like, I'm so sorry, man. This has never ending bullshit coming at you. And then Justin says Scooter when he bought her catalog. He brings that up.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he's like, it started when Kanye took the mic from her and she became this innocent victim. Lots of her music is about ex-boyfriends. They know I don't have any real power. And then they were like, well, what's the move? And he's like, she's leaving in 4 weeks for her next movie. So she said, unless she edits, she won't promote and we have to move the release date. It's her strategy, but I can't let her in until I know what the movie is. It's like letting someone in while you're figuring out what to paint. So it's a Chinese finger trap like everything else. And then his friend was like, how does the studio allow this? They should have your back. It's your idea. You acquired. He's like, they just want the movie to do well and they can't release anything. And he's like, I'm just trying to figure it out. Blake knows this, the oldest trick in the book. And then someone was like, or he's like, I'd call Ed ZWICK back. Wait, who's Ed? Isn't that I'm about to search him. Do you know who that is, Chantal?
No, Ed Zwick?
No, he's a filmmaker. No, he's a filmmaker. Yep, I'd call him back, get his advice or whatever heavy hitter director friends you have. I'm sure this isn't the first time this has happened. And Justin is so smart. He's like, it's tricky. You don't know who his allegiance is, like these people's allegiances to. And it's so true because like they're all under Ryan and Blake's spell. And he's like, so they talk a little bit about that. So there's just so much shit that was happening. And a lot of it will make sense. If you guys haven't listened to our stuff from last year with the Justin Baldoni stuff, we should probably put that back out there, Chantal, like repost that episode. If you guys think we should, let us know. And the last thing that I really want to talk about is Ryan Reynolds comparing the public fallout between Justin and Blake to the firestorm that followed the Johnny Depp Amber Heard in some text messages. Chanel, did you watch that trial live?
No.
I did. Oh my God.
Never was like into it.
I watched it during work. So in August 2024, text messages, which were included in court documents filed Tuesday, Ryan says, like, you can sort of feel the Baldoni stuff coming to a head online. He says it's in a text thread to Warren Zavala. And he's like, Twitter and TikTok are inexplicably blaming Blake at the moment, but I can imagine details won't come out because Justin and Jamie Heath offended, harassed, or violated too many people. And the internet is obviously looking for answers and obviously seeing how every cast member and key crew member, including Colleen, won't be in the same room as the guy. All of them have at the same point over the last 6 months unfollowed him on social media. Not one person has said Justin's name out loud in any interview at any time. At one point, do Justin and Jamie not take a moment to step in to the light and say, maybe it's us? And then Warren says, it's this guy's incredible ego. It feels like he's laying a trap if her truth surfaces while promoting a narrative digitally. And Ryan says, yeah, but honestly, someone is just going to tell a journalist the real deal and it's going to blow up in his face. And then Warren says, one would think, but the truth does become muddled sometimes. That's why I'm concerned if he's laying a trap. I hope this fraud shit weasel is exposed. I just want to protect our downside. The movie working is everything. Let's see if the noise subsides. Zavala then sends a link to a news story about Baldoni and Lively fighting over the final cut of It Ends With Us. And he's like, this is all spin. I think we let it burn. Ryan's like, how'd that work out for Depp and Johnny Depp? And then Warren says, not well, cratered both of them ultimately. And yeah, that's like kind of what I feel like is going to happen, you guys, at the end of this is like, Justin's never going to be able to come back from this. And it sucks. Just like Johnny Depp, like where have we seen him? I think Johnny Depp is like over it and he's super rich though. But even though he won in the public opinion, it's like, it never could be the same. And Blake is done too, you know?
But that's why I think Blake is still going with this because I think she thinks deep down that it can change and like it's like it's not going to. Even if you win this case, like it's not going to change.
And then with Colleen, she did state under oath that the only reason she unfollowed Justin Baldoni was because Blake Lively told her to. And Yeah. And it's so crazy because under oath, they asked Blake, did you tell Colleen to unfollow or anybody to unfollow? And Blake says no. And yeah. So like what happens when someone lies on that?
Unless like you really have like concrete proof, or if they want to really go in on that, it's just perjury, and you can go to jail for perjury.
But like no one really actually does, do they?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It depends if it's like a key, like a key thing of the case.
Yeah.
Like that's like minutia. It's like doesn't even really matter.
The final thing is like she ends up getting Colleen at the end to send an email to Sony and to basically say like, I am not comfortable with Justin Baldoni being at the premiere, and I might not go if Justin Baldoni comes. And just kind of bullshit. Like they really put this man through hell. They really fucking did. Ryan Reynolds' involvement makes absolutely zero sense.
I wonder like now when I wish like when they were like, especially like when they were deposing Colleen, like saying like, now that you've seen this, or did you read
they
this?
didn't ask any
I
of
know,
that.
like that's like I wish, like I want to know what people are thinking now.
But I wonder if they can do that. Like I don't think they can. Like I think they can focus only on that year that all this was happening.
I know.
You know? But see, like, wait, and real quick, one last thing is like, this was what the president of Sony and all of them were saying. They were like, she's a terrorist, even if it was, respectfully, they say she's a terrorist, even if it wasn't fake. The point is she didn't feel part of the screening. She should have been brought into the fold so that she could own those numbers as well. And then someone responded respectfully, there's no process that works with her. There isn't. What is important is that we have a baseline so we know you can tell her everything, include her in everything, and it still does not hold. But she will be in the editing room, but they're literally just like trash talking her and saying nothing is working. And it's crazy because if everyone at Sony is saying this, because like a lot of people, Chantal, have been saying, well, his co-stars all turned on him, but you see the text with Blake and the co-stars and like how she's like just everything. Oh, you see how Justin didn't laugh or he said this. But if all the producers and the people like the Sony executive who was working on set are calling her terrorist and saying she's like crazy, nothing works, like she is the problem.
Yeah, because like I mean, imagine like someone who is like, you know, like someone like we said, like maybe a lot of people didn't like Justin, and then you have Blake who is like, you know, interesting to talk to, and she's fun and all these things. Like, of course you're gonna have like her back more, and instead of like the weirdo guy that you like think is weird a little bit.
Yeah.
Like as in castmates, you know, like when you're like actually filming. But when it's like getting down to business and you're dealing with like these business people, they're like thinking of Blake as a psychopath.
And she did also say that the chairman of the Wayfarer, she said that he sexual harassed her because instead of addressing concerns like she thinks were dismissed. So like she believes like her gender played a role in how she was treated, and that's sexual harassment. And then he like at the deposition, they were like, well, did you ever discuss to the chairman that you were sexually harassed? She's like, no, but she believes that the chairman sexually harassed her as well.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You guys, it's all crazy. It's all crazy. So I know it's a lot.
Your husband sexually harasses by talking.
Yeah, literally, like it's a lot, you guys. It's a lot to uncover. There's a lot. I'm sure there's more during the trial. We are going to be going crazy on this, but let us know what your guys' thoughts are. Has your guys' opinion changed? Do you feel like you empathize with Blake Lively? Like I'm curious to see if people do, and maybe they see something that we don't.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm interested to see what people think. Or if they care anymore.
I think people care. I think right now I'm seeing everywhere people care. Chanel, like anything I tweet about this gets like a million.
No, I know. I'm saying like our listeners.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? On our Patreon, everyone was going crazy. It was like one of our like most commented thing right now. So yeah, but let us know what you guys think. I don't think Chantal cares is what she's trying to tell us. But
No, I do know. I'm invested. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back with Potomac and a lot of other episodes going on this week. Beverly Hills, all the good stuff. So thanks for listening. Let us know what you guys think about everything. Have a great week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Look, we all know there are a lot of celebrity interview podcasts out there, but there's only one Happy, Sad, Confused. I'm Josh Horowitz, and yeah, I'm the host of the show, so I'm a little biased, but truly Happy, Sad, Confused is the place for nerdy and intimate conversations with all your favorite actors and filmmakers. from Andrew Garfield and Scarlett Johansson to Christopher Nolan and Quentin Tarantino. For over 10 years and over 700 episodes, Happy, Sad, Confused has broken movie and TV news every single week. That's because I ask all the questions I want to know, and more importantly, you want to know. Casting what-ifs, backstage stories, acting pet peeves, and much more. So whether you're into superheroes, prestige TV, or just the coolest actors and directors alive, you're going to learn something in every episode. Listen to Happy, Sad, Confused on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you love those, wait, what? moments, you'll love Something You Should Know. I'm Mike Carruthers, and on my podcast, we explore the fascinating ideas hiding in plain sight. Like how elevators change the entire world, how gravity affects your health more than you think, or how to instantly become a better conversationalist. Each episode is fast, fun, and full of insight you'll want to share. So give it a try. Search for Something You Should Know wherever you get your podcasts.
There are vampires out there. They walk among you, shoulder to shoulder in the dark. Heading to work, heading home, going to the bar. It's a life just like anyone else's, and I have grown used to it. To the darkness, to the moon, to the taste of blood on my tongue. But vampires are dying out. We are a fading kind, and I am the first one created in so long. And that is a dangerous thing to be. Those who came before me, elders of all stripes, they do not want to see our kind gone, and they will do anything to keep their power. And for myself, and for Grace, who created me, that is a sword that hangs above our heads. And the worst person of all carries our secret, and he will use it however he sees fit. Who do you look to when things are at their darkest? From the creators of Parkdale Haunt comes Woodbine, a podcast about monsters, dreams, and changes, those you want and those you never saw coming. Season 2 arrives September 24th, distributed by Realm.
From the podcast that brought you to each of the last lesbian bars in the country and back in time through the sapphic history that shaped them, comes a brand new season of cruising beyond the bars. This is your host, Sarah Gabrielli, and I've spent the past year interviewing history-making lesbians and queer folks about all kinds of queer spaces, from bookstores to farms to line dancing and much more.
For 11 years, every night women slept illegally on the common.
We would move down to the West Indies to form a lesbian nation.
Meg Kristen coined the phrase women's music, but she would have liked to say it was lesbian music.
And that's kind of the origins of the Common Behavior Collective.
You can listen to Cruising on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes air every other Tuesday starting February 4th.